Marilyn Santaguida.
My name's Nelia Madera. We worked together at one of another center, and we always talked about how we would open up our own center together.
We created this proposal to operate a childcare center.
That was our lifelong dream. And in 1989, we did get an opportunity to be able to make that dream come true.
We started working with a volunteer board of directors to create a not-for-profit childcare center to service the Maple community.
We opened up in January of 1990, and at that time we had 16 children and 3 staff. The 3 staff were myself, Marilyn, and Mary. At that point, you know, it was kind of challenging. It was brand new to us, a brand new area, brand new families. We wanted to make sure that we provided a great program for the children. That was our vision.
We did what it took to get the job done. It meant around the clock sometimes, where our own families were here, providing support and having dinners together at the center as we prepared and did the after hours work that we couldn't get done during the day.
Having to wear many hats, we did everything from opening the center, closing the center, building toys, cooking. Marilyn was our cook for a couple of months, so that was kind of challenging, and trying to do office work and meet parents and orient staff.
We quickly moved from 16 children to full enrollment probably September of 1990, where we had 44 children, both I guess from preschool to kindergarten and a few school-age children. And we worked really hard. We were passionate about what we were doing, and we worked as a team.
We then opened up St. Joan of Arc Child Care Center in 1994, and then from there we opened up our school-age programs, Blessed Trinity, St. Cecilia's, St. Michael the Archangel, and Our Lady of Peace.
And we couldn't do that without the support of our families. The trust that families had in our organization, in our ability to provide a safe, nurturing environment for their children. We couldn't do that without the staff, the knowledgeable staff that we've had over the years, the commitment and loyalty from the staff, and the staff that believed in our mission and provided that to our children through their programs and their interactions with children and families. We are very proud of all of our programs. We are proud of our staff, and we are very excited to be able to continue to provide the highest of quality care to all of our children and their families.
The one message that I would like to have parents know is a great big thank you. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be where we are today.
Personally, I'm very proud of following through with a vision and being able to build on that vision and to have been able to live up to my high standards with respect to what a quality child program should be for all children, and that all children should have that opportunity. And I'm very proud that I was able to live up to that dream, and I'm very excited to be able to continue to provide that for families and children moving forward.
Joanne Lipa. I had 3 children in the program, and I first started in the program in, or brought my children in the program in 1999. I had 2 children who began, and I have to say that I lived in Maple already about 5 years, and it was quite an extensive search to find the right childcare for my kids. I had been to quite a few in Maple, but the minute I walked into the St. Joan of Arc location and I was greeted by Nelia, I got a good feeling, and they were all about the development of the kids and the nutrition and It was all about the children.
Lucy Ercoleo. I had 3 children at the center throughout the years, and I wanted to be part of making a difference within the community at the board level. I wanted to be able to know in depth the programs that my children were involved in, and to be able to be a part of giving back to the center, and to help guide the center wherever possible, and whatever expertise that I had in terms of being able to help the center and the corporation make decisions. But first and foremost, it was just to be able to give back to the community and to the center.
Now, a lot of people did say to me, 3 kids in daycare, isn't it easier to get a nanny? And it probably would have been more economical and a lot less work in the morning and for a nanny. However, the childcare allowed me to go to work with peace of mind.
As a parent, the experience was a wonderful experience. Part of the center's mission is to ensure that the center is a home away from home for the children. And as a parent, it's challenging enough knowing that you have to leave your children behind to go to work, and knowing that they're in an environment that's there to nurture them, to care for them, and to truly treat them like they're part of an extended family makes it easier.
Daniela Cristofero. When I was 17 years old, I came to volunteer in the summer at St. Joan of Arc Child Care Center, and I still remember my first day. I was in the Dalmatian room, so it was our preschool children, and I just fell in love. The children, being around them, one in particular, this little girl with a Pebbles ponytail on the top of her head, her little belly top and yellow shorts, who was actually Nelia's daughter, Kristen Madeira. One look at her and I couldn't leave her side all day. So I remember going home and saying to my mom, that is the best job ever. I continued to volunteer throughout the summer. I started at Father John Kelly that September, and an opportunity came for me to work part-time. Just one afternoon a week. I took it right away. And the rest is history. I mean, from there, I decided to enroll in the apprenticeship program so that I can continue to work at the centers, but also still get my ECE diploma. I was able to do my hours, my placement hours at the center. I continued to grow within the organization.
And I like staying involved because their mission is all about the kids. And I truly believe that, having had 3 kids who successfully went through the program, and I am thrilled with it, that helping other parents to continue this positive program is part of me giving back to what they did for my kids.
As soon as the parents leave, the children adjust, they adapt, and it was just wonderful to see how quickly the kids just are embraced and become part of the program, and truly a home away from home. So it's very comforting to know that your children are really well cared for while you're not there.
It's actually gone full circle because now both my children attend the centers, one in the toddler room and one before and after school here at Father John Kelly. There's nowhere else that I would bring my kids. This is my home away from home.
Thank you to the Community of Maple Child Care Center and Nelia and Marilyn and all the staff. They're great. And my kids still talk about their days at the daycare.
Thank you for every opportunity that I've had here. Thank you for all the role modeling, all the guidance, all the direction. Thank you for helping me realize what I wanted to do with my life. Thank you for the quality childcare that you provide for my children and for the community. And congratulations on 25 years.
I like coming here because there's lots of crafts and I have lots of fun here, especially in KK3, so I can use Lumia and the computers. And I like making soup here. It's really fun. I also like doing lots of science experiments at the science table.
There's lots of activities like painting, coloring, and all the teachers are nice. I really like this place because of the nice teachers and what we're able to do here. We can have fun, play outside, build snowmen and other things outside. And we are able to play with Lego and other things I like. I love this school and I love these teachers. They're so nice. They let everybody do anything they want as long as we're being good. I'm after school because all my friends are here and I like to chase people. I like coming to the before and after school, the before and after school program because I play with my friends, we have iPads, and we go to the gym sometimes. I like after school because I was here since I was a baby. The teachers are nice and we do fun activities. Daycare helped me because they help us with homework, they help us if we ever get hurt to heal us. We can make new friends. The games that they have require thinking, which is good for your mind. My favorite memory in OLP1 was making chocolate. What I like about this daycare is all the fun activities that I'm allowed to do, especially dance.
They did pretty good, especially being a Royal Plumber. It was the funniest thing I ever heard, but it was good.
And here are the ingredients. You take 31 kids. You take a regular big meeting room, about like this one. You take some poster board, some washable markers, Kathy, some washable markers this year, and a whole bunch of imagination from those 31 kids. And what you come up with is a play, doing games. And these games were not just play games, they were fun, but they were also focused on getting the kids to think about characters and how to move as a character, how to speak as a character, how to use your imagination to become that. What makes a good scene? Well, it needs to have some action. It needs to have a place to be. You need to have definite characters. You need to have some conflict. And then you need to find out how to resolve that conflict. Scene by scene, moment by moment, made it into a play. Everything, all your kids.
And so how did they enjoy the week? How was the week for them?
They really enjoyed it a lot. This was their first experience with the camp, and they had a great time.
Presenting Lord Wellington! This Friday night, there will be a ball. Everyone in the town is invited. Yay!
I will fix the toilet.
Behold, the golden plunger!
Each other of you guys feel. I'm sorry. No, I am. No, I am. Wait a minute. This is silly. Let's make a promise never to argue again.
Do you think they enjoyed the week?
Oh, they loved it. This is their like third or fourth time. And
So Matt enjoyed himself this week.
He did. He had a great time. He's asking me if we're coming back in August.
Okay. We will move forward with the next item, which is a first reading of an ordinance imposing a quarter-cent sales tax or retail transactions and use tax for the purpose of providing quality preschool education, childcare, healthcare, and extended learning after school. A lot of people are here today. First reading is often just a perfunctory issue, but today we want it to be a celebration of the long-standing and diverse commitment across the spectrum of our community to bring this measure forward. And I'm going to ask Supervisor Arnold if she would like to move this first reading.
I would be happy to move the first reading.
And a second. And well, we're just going to take this action after we hear from the public, I think.
Great. Yes.
But I want to invite up any of the members of the many community organizations and individuals who've been involved in this. So, there you go. Welcome, Ms. Garbarino.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. We're here before you to talk about the very best investment we can make in our future, but you all already know that. The action before you is the tangible way to improve the future of every child in Marin. This is the fix. Maybe not the fix for all of our ills, but the very best fix that all of the best minds in our community have come together to devise to even the playing field and give every child a chance for fulfillment, success, and the ability to contribute all that they can to make this world an even better place. We have such extraordinary talent. Strong Start support. All of you out there? Yeah, all good. I'll just name a few of the rock stars, but they're all rock stars. Jenny, Kathy, Mary Jane, Pat, Alice, Cynthia, Eric, the good folks in the blue shirts over there, all good. Working together, this opportunity is not to be missed, and the whole world is watching. And if they're not, they should be. Our neighbor in Sonoma County is waiting in the wings to replicate our efforts, replicate this model across the state as well and the nation. This effort will be the model to ensure that the futures of all of our children will be the very, very best. Thank you for listening and for your support.
Thank you. Step right up. Welcome.
Good morning. I represent today just myself, so let me introduce myself. I am Terry DeMartini. I live in Fairfax. I'm quite excited about what our county is proposing. I started my early childhood work in the 70s with the Bolinas Children's Center and went on to the Kentfield After School Center, both of which programs are still serving families, I'm happy to say. I'm the founding director of the Marin Child Care Council and went on from there to West Ed, the Center for Child and Family Studies, where I was director of training and technical assistance with the National Training Program for Infant Toddler Care. So I have traveled around the country and looked at a lot of early childhood programs. And this is unique, what you are proposing. We know that one out of every 3 children in Marin County is not in preschool, of the preschool population. And the main issue is affordability. We have made great strides in research, in staff development. I'm currently adjunct faculty at the College of Marin in the Early Childhood Education Department. Our facilities are wonderful, but we still need to help parents access those facilities and provide them with the resources that they need. These children are missing out on extraordinary opportunities to expand their social skills, their emotional intelligence, their cognitive development, and what I see is the sheer joy of spending the day interacting with their peers, with adults who cherish them and promote their curiosity. So I am happy about what we're doing. I think it is groundbreaking, and of course urge your support. Thank you.
Good morning, supervisors. Cynthia Murray, so nice to see you all. I am CEO of North Bay Leadership Council. We represent the leading employers, Marin, Sonoma, and Napa counties, and we are so excited that, again, the County of Marin is leading the way in how to do things right to take care of the youngest residents and our future workforce. I'm going to talk a little bit about the economic benefits. When you invest in children, you will get the best return on that investment. For every dollar invested, you save $7 to $8. You will increase high school graduation by 31%, college attendance by more than 80%, employment by 23%, and we have studies coming out now that every new job is requiring more and more education. And so if these children don't get preschool, they're going to be not able to participate in the workforce, not only of today, but especially of tomorrow. We have some studies that have shown on a national basis that equal access to high-quality child care and preschool would increase the national GDP by $551 billion by allowing more parents to seek and keep their jobs while simultaneously developing the next generation of innovators. So it'll improve health. It'll improve civic engagement. We certainly want to make sure that people are voting and staying engaged in their community and their government, but it also is one of the best ways to reduce poverty and break that cycle of poverty. So important, reduce crime, and most of all, reduce inequity. So we are so, so excited to partner with you and work together so that we have the very best and brightest future in Marin County. Thank you.
Good morning, supervisors. Amy Reich with First 5 Marin. I want to thank you for all your years of support and for recognizing the importance of early, strong starts for all of our kids. 80% of their brains are developed by 3, 90% by 5. Nurturing, developmentally appropriate experiences with adults and children to foster social, emotional, physical, and intellectual development will assure their success. And you understand that, and you're acting on it, and Marin is going to be a first, and we will lead the way. And I want to thank you on behalf of all of our children and families.
Thank you.
Not sure it goes low enough for someone as short as I am. I'm here, Marcia Hagan, representing the League of Women Voters of Marin County. I lifted the statement position on early childhood education. High-quality learning opportunities can have an incredible impact on children from lower-income families. Low-income children hear millions of words fewer than their more affluent peers. And when children are just 2 years old, there's already a 6-month gap in language proficiency between lower and higher income children. And sadly, those who start behind often stay behind. Improving the quality and availability of early learning for the children who need it most will help tackle the readiness gap that many children face on the day they start kindergarten, and will ensure a brighter future for students, their families, and for California as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Great to see you all. My name is Eric Lucan. I'm a resident of Novato, as well as a city council member in Novato for the past 5 years. I'm here to speak in support of the Marin Strong Starts for Kids initiative. And I do want to clarify, I'm speaking as an individual council member, not on behalf of the whole council or the city of Novato, as we haven't taken up that issue yet at our council. But I grew up in Novato. My sister and I attended preschool in Novato, and then eventually both went on and graduated from Novato High School. And when you're in preschool doing finger painting and making macaroni necklaces and enjoying story time and learning numbers and letters, making friends, you don't realize that you're also being prepared for a lifelong learning and a vital foundation that is being developed. However, 1 out of every 3 children in Marin do not attend preschool, often due to the high cost for families, and therefore those children are not getting that foundation to set them up for that success. They're not learning those social skills about interacting with others. On top of that, 800 families are on a wait list for quality child care, unable to secure affordable child care in Marin. Quality child care and affordable preschool isn't an issue of indifference. It's an issue of affordability, and this initiative will address that issue and a variety of other needs, including health care, wellness, and quality child care and after-school programs. No parent wants to have to decide between putting gas in their car to get to work or taking their child to the dentist for a routine checkup. No parent wants to have to opt between paying the rent or paying the preschool tuition. And no parents want to have to decide whether or not they support an ailing relative or provide quality child care for their kids. But fortunately, we can do something about it. In Marin, we've adopted sales tax measures to improve transit and transportation, invest in our parks and preserve open space, and to maintain vital city services. Now is the time to invest in generations to come, in our kids, and in our future. Thank you.
Thank you. Well.
Good morning. I'm Alice Fredericks. I'm a Tiburon Council member, but I'm here as an individual. I'm also a member of the Strong Start Support. There are many of us. We all appreciate the opportunity to have Marin voters show that they will give all children an opportunity not just to enrich their own lives, but to enrich the lives of our communities. When I was young, as some of us were in the 60s, America's greatness was called the Great Society. And due to those programs, I was a beneficiary, and so was my daughter. They offered preschool to her while I was in college. Everyone should have the opportunity for their children, and they should have the opportunities for their families to support these children in these endeavors in preschool when they learn the basic things they need to be on a par, especially here in Marin, with their colleagues on the first day of kindergarten. I mean, there's nothing like walking into preschool, I have been told, and finding all the children in the classroom knows what a sticky monkey is, and you have not a clue. I want to thank all of you for your consideration to put this Strong Start initiative on the ballot. It will give all of our youngest children what so many of us have been able to give our own children. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Carlos Garcia Bedoya. You know me. I'm a community leader, and today I represent the parties not here. They are working. Don't forget, the education is starting when the kids born. And we need support you like 2 years ago. And the only thing I want to do today is something unusual. I want you show help us. Let me give you the stickers.
Thank you.
Okay, gracias.
Hi, I'm Mary Jane Burke, the Marin County Superintendent of Schools. And I just want to thank each of you individually and what you represent collectively on behalf of our entire community, but in particular on behalf of our young children and their families. As a representative of the K-12 system, I want you to imagine something. Imagine the time when thousands of children enter kindergarten throughout this community in our 55 schools that hold children of that age. And imagine that all the children have had the advantages that they need so that when that teacher, by week 1, right, in the very first week of school, a kindergarten teacher would be able to tell you which children have had that opportunity for a strong, high-quality preschool and early education opportunities. And imagine when the kindergarten teachers come to you and stand in this line and express their thanks that you indeed made it possible for all the children entering our schools to have these amazing opportunities. And I want you to know that what you're doing in your roles, individually and collectively, is providing such a strong statement about young children and what we need to do. And I look forward to the day when all the kindergarten teachers are here expressing their great thanks to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Pat Kendall. I'm going towards really short. But following up on what Mary Jane just said, she talked about the first day. I want you to think that when we, in a year or so, have every 4-year-old go to preschool, it's only going to be 14 years before we have that first group graduate from this start. Does that make sense? And behind them, everybody will be strong. And within a year, hopefully those children will have graduated from high school and will have some post-secondary education. We know that the best indicator of health in regards to education is having some post-secondary education. So we will give them that great start for health. And why is that important is that we know now that well over 60% of all of our income tax dollars go to health care. That's enormous. And we know by, some say 2020, some say a little later than that, 100% of every tax dollar will go to health care if we don't bend the curve on chronic conditions. So when these kids get into our start, they will also have screenings. They will also hopefully know about the best choices of foods and all of that stuff that gets them going. And Damon, especially what you talked about earlier about working with substance abuse and mental health. We're going to put screening for mental health and substance abuse in with these 4-year-olds, and we haven't done that in a long, long, long time. We've got to do the upstream work, because if we don't do it way in the beginning, then we're just tackling more and more down the way. So I see this as a line in the sand, and those kids that are 4-year-olds after that line in the sand are going to be some of the luckiest kids that we have. We've known for a long time that what we eat, what we drink, how active we are, what choices we make in our genetics affect our health. But we also know now the most important number in your medical record is your zip code, meaning where you live, where you have a place to live, if you're at poverty level, and if you have an education. So you're tackling the one that we can really get our hands around first, and hopefully those others are going to come right behind it. And I think someone just said, and I really truly believe that this is going to make you a leader in this nation, because this is going to take off. And I want to congratulate you ahead of time for that, and I look forward to next week when you give us the big thumbs up and we can really make a difference. So thank you very much.
Good morning. I'm Jenny Calloway, and I'm a member of this coalition for Marin Strong Start. And I want to thank everybody here today for their endurance. I appreciate the endurance of the Board of Supervisors. I appreciate the endurance of all the supporters from Marin Strong Start. You guys stand up if you're for Marin Strong Start. I want to make sure that we're always bolstering you up, letting you know that the community in all of its sectors support this initiative. So you've heard today from our working moms and dads, those that could be here, from our educators who support quality education, which is one of the highest values in this county, from our health providers, from our business community. We have members of the interfaith community. Really, every sector of this community is supporting this initiative. So I want to thank everybody for their endurance. We know that we are also thanking the children who shouldn't have to have endurance, quite frankly. Children can't wait, but they've been waiting. And what we're doing here is making sure that they don't wait any further. They are 30% of our now, and they are 100% of our future. Investing in this most treasured resource and infrastructure is the right thing to do, and it's the smart thing to do. Thank you. We look forward to next week.
Well, thank you all for joining us. This really is an exciting threshold that we are about to cross in a couple weeks when we take this matter up for final action. I want to invite individual supervisors, if you'd like to make some comments, beginning with Supervisor Arnold.
Sure. Well, what we've seen today and what your progress has been is a recipe for the success of 1 in every 3 children in this county. Marin, we are receiving these are the children that do not receive health care, the children that daycares that doesn't get an education in their daycare program, and the children that don't benefit from after school education. That's what we're going to be providing when we put this on the ballot and when the voters approve this. I can tell you an interesting thing that I saw last week at the SMART Board of Directors meeting. We are having a big problem in keeping signal engineers. First of all, there's not enough that are trained to be that, and when you are trained and SMART hires you, BART will come and give them $1,000 to leave because there's such a shortage. And we talked at SMART about, and I talked with College of Marin about SMART providing, a business providing some help to College of Marin to begin at their IVC campus this course in planning for signal engineers. And you say, well, yeah, that's a long way away, but this Strong Start is an example of what we can do to provide jobs in the future and as far as mass transit. So I want to thank this broad level of support. I've seen it grow, and today is a great example of it. And what we're doing today is going to have ramifications throughout the whole community and probably the United States. Thank you.
Thank you. Supervisor Conley?
Yes, and thank you, everyone. So here's what it comes down to for me. In our society, education is the key factor to enable individuals who are willing to work hard, to get ahead, and create opportunities for themselves. And in turn, it enhances the well-being of our society as a whole. Even in our great county, we have, and we all know it, what has been termed the achievement gap, because for many there is not a level playing field. And that really starts with early education, which is so critical to get our children off on the right feet. This initiative goes directly to that issue, and that's why I support it. And of course, the related and significant other issues of child care and health, and how that critically fits in with what we're talking about as well. So I appreciate the hard work that went into this, and I'm very much looking forward to voting for it and supporting it in the fall.
Thank you, Supervisor Rice.
Looking forward to next week when we actually can take the vote that puts this on the ballot. I am very supportive. Everything's been said today about the fact and evidence and data that shows that what happens in those early years is probably the most important things that can happen for a child in terms of setting them on a trajectory for success. I think that the plan is well constructed. I think the expenditure plan speaks to what it needs to speak to. I think it's set up for accountability and strong oversight, and I will be supporting. And I think that as locally, if we can step up for parks and we can step up for transportation, we sure as well better be stepping up for kids. And it's not going to happen at the state level or at the federal level soon enough, if ever. And so we need to do it here locally.
Thank you. Supervisor Sears.
So we've been on a long journey, and we're almost getting to the starting gate of asking people to vote, right? But sitting here listening to everyone speaking today, I was thinking about skill and language acquisition. And I think everyone in this group who has worked so hard to get us to the point where we are today this is a fabulous example of skill acquisition in terms of collaboration and really thinking through very carefully what is a complex set of needs. And I think all the speakers did a great job of really describing the complexity of the impact of what in some ways will be a simple ballot measure. And so thank all of you. I want to thank all of you so much. To me, what resonates probably the most strongly about this proposed ballot measure is the language acquisition. I think that's just so tremendously important. And the child care to support everyone who's working and wants to be working and wants to keep a job. Those are pillars, really, of our county, of our society, of what makes us healthy. So thank you so much. Keep going. Persistence and skill acquisition, we're going to go forward and really succeed on this.
Thank you. Sí. Yo también, gracias a todos que están trabajando para este. I really want this to be for the whole community. And thank you for those of you who are here today who speak for the communities that aren't able to speak for themselves during the workday. I consider this, like my entire board, to represent the wisdom of our community, the community spirit that makes us a special place, and justice being served. It is wise for sure to invest in the foundation of our youth and to pay forward the opportunities to prevent expenses at a future time in their lives. It's also extremely valuable to make sure that all children, and we emphasize all children, have the same opportunities for these examples of how you can proceed and improve yourself for their health, their well-being, their family's support, and this measure incorporates those elements into it. And then, of course, it's just because historic inequities that have been built into our civic institutions are being dismantled and need to be dismantled, and this is one very proactive way to reflect that. So for all those reasons, I think this board and our community should stand forward and support this. Congratulations on the hard work, but it needs to be matched by the hard work of a campaign to get a 2/3 vote. That is always a challenge, and the best way that each of us in this room can see its success is to not only work with our organizations, but speak and have conversations about the true value of this measure that could put us in a position of leading the way in the state of California, the first of dedicated funding for these activities. So thank you all. We're going to take the vote. Watch how dry government can get. All in favor?
Aye.
A first reading of the ordinance. Tony.
An ordinance of the Marin County Board of Supervisors imposing a 1/4% retail transactions and use tax to be administered by the State Board of Equalization for the purpose of providing quality preschool education, child care, health care, and extended learning after school.
Great. Thank you. Thank you all. And take care.